This mutation is called Graveyard Shift, and it is being played on Dead of Night. We have two mutators active. We have Afraid of the Dark, and we have Purifier Beam. So more or less a very straightforward set of mutators, very easy. The Purifier Beam will not move into the player's bases, so I think there's just a little bit of a tip here where the Purifier Beam can move in, so you'll have to push your defenses back a little bit, but for the most part the players are safe. As you can see also over here is that there's a little mini-map dot that shows where the Purifier Beam is sitting, so you don't get a full-on mini-map ping, but you do have a little bit of an indication as to where the Purifier Beam is. And we do have Alarak and Zagara that will be going ahead to do this mutation. So let's have a look at the production, and everything seems to be more or less normal. Vorazun has already taken her 3 automated assimilators, or the orbital assimilators, or whatever the hell they're called, and Alarak is teching up. He's put his gateway down, gateway will be completing, and he'll probably be climbing up that tech tree. You can see that Alarak has already started to focus mostly on a gas-based income rather than a mineral income, so he's well below saturation over here, and he's completely saturated the Vespine the Vespine mining here for himself, for his economy. So he's probably going to try and do, I assume he's wanted to do some kind of mech build, but I'm not really sure what the plan is for both players over here. So yeah, you can see here there's a total of 13 workers, or like 12 right now, that are just mining from this mineral patch, whereas the optimal saturation here is about 18, I believe. So yeah, there is a significant reduction in worker mining on the mineral patch, while the Vespine geysers have been pretty much completely saturated. Same here for Vorazun as well. Vorazun's automated assimilators do make Vorazun's macro a little bit easier, because you don't really have to worry about sending workers to these geysers. And now we have the first night, and we'll see how the players will choose to handle this. We have a few structures coming out here. We have a Nexus that is probably going to be there just for the HP, and we have photon cannons and one Stargate as well that is being put down. Unfortunately, that okay, so now we have a time stop that has been dropped, and unfortunately time stop affects the mission timer over here. You can see the night. The timing for the night has also been stopped. You can take advantage of this by using your time stops during the daytime to give you just a little bit more time to clear out structures. Unfortunately, there is a hunterling over here, which means now the players will consistently be harassed by hunterlings. So there's an attempt at a black hole over here, but that hunterling just jumps out of the way and ends up killing off some of these probes. But these probes recall back to the Nexus, ensure that they are okay. And now we have Alarak over here, who is starting to poke away on these structures. He has to be a little bit careful. The infested on this mission are not as strong as the infested that you get on minor evacuation, so he can actually one-shot a lot of these units here. Alarak is taking a lot of damage from that bunker, but does manage to survive through some of the kills here. There's a photon overcharge as well that gets dropped onto this orbital assimilator, and that'll be providing a little bit of extra DPS to hold during this night. And now we have 5 photon cannons over here. Unfortunately, the infested do not have detection, so they will have to go ahead and try and take out that pylon, which is very conveniently positioned at the back. So that will keep you alive. Alarak is a little bit confused as to why he cannot do anything. He is taking a little bit of damage over here. He does end up one-shotting a lot of the units here. And now Alarak will be focusing on this side. So you can see that Alarak is producing, yeah, his robo is in production. He has the second robo also in production. Sorry, he has 2 robos, 1 in production, 1 already completed, and he does have. He seems to be going for a mech build here, which is very standard of Alarak builds on Dead of Night. Alarak's other builds are not really that effective, especially his Ascendant builds, because he has to actually take out structures. You can see there's a large number of infested that are going to try and target this pylon here, and we can see there are already 4 oracles available for Vorazun, and there's a photon overcharge that comes in here just to try and save this dark pylon, just to make sure that Vorazun does not end up losing that pylon and you know, decloaking all of that, because these photon cannons, you kind of want to keep them around for a while. And as you can see now, this Purifier beam knows that Alarak is in this position, so I think it'll start moving towards Alarak. It seems to be turning around now. Maybe another unit around here somewhere. And the Hunterling is harassing Vorazun's probes again. Vorazun not very happy, but now the day has started, and Alarak is going to start pushing in here. And Vorazun's army is an army of 9 oracles. So there we go. Alarak will be attacking over here, and Vorazun's oracles on this side, and they are going to go full Disco Inferno, and hopefully try and clear out some of these structures here. They'll be moving in, I think, to help Alarak as well. Missile turrets do end up dealing a little bit of damage to that, and now there is a time stop here, and Disco Inferno mode has been activated, and the oracles are going to start prodding on these structures and start clearing these things out as quickly as possible. And notice how they're just ignoring everything else. They're just focus firing down these structures, because that is what the objective was all about. There is a seeker missile that gets targeted onto one of these oracles. Is there going to be a split? Unfortunately, no split on the oracle. The wrong oracle was split off, and now the oracle actually very conveniently does end up getting split, so it's going to get taken a hit by the Raven seeker missile. Raven is now out of energy, which means it's okay. Unfortunately, the oracles, as they were rallying back, get attacked by the missile turret and end up being lost anyway to Vorazun. But that is okay. Vorazun is on her triple assimilator, and I think production-wise, okay, Vorazun's not producing any oracles just yet, but there we go. 4 oracles are in production right now for Vorazun. And yeah, so the one other thing to also note about this mission is that because Afraid of the Dark is active, you don't really know where the infested structures are, which is going to be a little bit of a problem in the later stages of the game as you try and figure out which one structure you have missed out throughout the course of this mission. There's still 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the timer. They will start pushing out again. Yes, there we go. So Disco Inferno mode gets activated onto these oracles, and we're just going to start taking out these structures here. And Alarak is okay. This is Alarak's vanguards, which is fine. These units are really good for holding infested during the nighttime because they have a lot of splash damage. Alarak's Robo build is probably the best Alarak build that you can do on this mission. What you can do is you can get an extra void, not void array, you can get one of the extra warp prisms, and you can use these warp prisms and overcharge them to provide you with a little bit of extra DPS as well to help you clear. You can see over here, Vorazun's oracles now are starting to get massed in large numbers, and they will start to move in. Unfortunately, day 2 is over, and now it's time to defend. Now, I think one thing that Vorazun can do over here is get the stasis calibration upgrade for the oracles, and that'll allow Vorazun's oracles stasis wards. Any unit that gets trapped in that stasis ward, it can still be attacked. So it does provide a little bit of value for Vorazun. But we can see here Vorazun is not interested. There's a seeker missile on here, and it hits one of these oracles. Oracles gets recalled back. A lot of these oracles have been bruised from that from these seeker missiles that that Amon is throwing at them, which is a little bit unfortunate because these things cannot be repaired. So Alarak is in the front here, and he's trying to move his immortals back, but I think he did end up losing some of them. No, okay, so 5 immortals have been lost, and 3 oracles. 5 immortals lost, it kind of stinks, but now we have another time stop, and Vorazun's just focusing down these ghost academies. The number of times that people have gotten nuked on this mission is way too high to count, and Vorazun's just making sure. And we're just gonna go ahead and snipe off all these this, and there's another seeker missile that gets targeted on. That seeker missile range is insane. It's like I'm actually surprised that seeker missile managed to leash onto these things. And these oracles are just gonna move back now and make sure that they do not end up getting more focus fired down by seeker missiles. Alarak is in this position. He's pretty much invincible right now as long as he's paying attention, because one of these destruction waves will end up killing off a lot of infested and regenerating his HP very quickly. And now the infested have actually gone through and gotten through this base here. So there's a black hole that gets dropped here, and there is more Disco Inferno here to start clearing out these infested units. Alarak's Immortals move back to position. Unfortunately, they do not have vision of the infested units that are actually harassing them right now. So a lot of these Immortals might end up getting lost. And there we go. So that overcharge is doing okay, but there is a Kaboomer over there, and that Kaboomer is dealing a lot of damage as well. Oh, there are 4 Kaboomers right now. Those are a lot of units there, lots of splash damage, and actually, luckily for these Immortals, they are in Vorazun's Dark Pylon range. So what happens is, like, as they get killed, they get sent back to the Nexus, which is I'm not sure whether that was intentional play or just accidental, but very convenient for Alarak. He ends up saving some of those Immortals from unnecessary demise. There's a huge wall over there. This Kaboomer has detection. So these Kaboomers, because they are heroic units, they do have detection. Very nice black hole comes out. Disco Inferno gets activated again on this and ends up... I don't know, what's it called? It's called it's a pulsar beam, right? I think it's a pulsar beam. I just call it Disco Inferno because there we go. And now we have the nuke. The nuke that is over here is... okay, the ghost isn't getting killed off. I know I'm not supposed to say this, I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I was kind of hoping the nuke would land onto all these oracles, because that would just be funny. I know this is not a Rock Slapping Champions episode, but I still think that would have been really funny if just an entire massive oracle just got completely wiped by a nuke, because, you know, who doesn't like watching their ally get nuked? There is a secret missile that gets dropped with this oracle here. So 4 oracle, I think 2 more oracles went down and 4 got recalled back, and there's another secret missile here. Those oracles are very, very tightly packed. There's a little bit of a split here, and some more oracles end up going down. But now there's a time stop, and Vorazun will start clearing out this this enemy base here. And this one is one of the more difficult ones to clear out because it's very, very well fortified. So using time stop and using the oracles to just instantly focus fire down these structures is very, very good. And Vorazun's going to try and get out of there after she snipes away that one Ghost Academy. Alarak is also over here to provide a little bit of damage. They did end up clearing out that base very, very quickly. Now Alarak, I think, will be moving over here. His one Vanguard is actually vulnerable. There we go. So his Empower Me is red, so I don't know if he's going to use it. Yeah, there we go. Empower Me gets triggered right now, and he's going to start moving in here. Mech units provide 2 times the amount of supply that they normally do towards Empower Me buffs, so Alarak is actually really, really powerful right now. You can see his damage output is just absolutely insane when he's combined there. Unfortunately, not all of his units are with him, so they're not all going to be providing that buff. There is a little bit of a range limitation on Empower Me. It is obviously not every single unit on the map. Now his units on range. You can see how they're glowing. The ones that are glowing are actually providing Alarak with the Empower Me buff. So once they are all within range, I think it's 10 range, he will be severely buffed in that sense. And Alarak has cleared pretty much the strongest fortifications here. There is a War Prism that gets put here with a Photon Overcharge, and this is a strategy you should be using on Dead of Night with Alarak, but unfortunately, because Afraid of the Dark is available, because Afraid of the Dark is active on this map, you really cannot really micro the Photon Overcharges, because there we go, that nuke is going to end up falling, but I don't think it's going to take off very much here. The players have gotten a Terran composition, which means that you will be getting nuked most of the time. You just have to be really, really careful. And again, Vorazun is going to start clearing out whatever's left of these structures over here, while Alarak ends up cleaning up this side. And I think for the most part, the structures have been removed from the map. There are a few more infested structures left over, and this is where the mission becomes really, really difficult, because you do not know which areas you have cleared and which areas you have not. There's a Purifier beam that's getting dangerously close to Alarak, and he's found some more structures on this side. Alarak does end up falling to the sheer number of infested that are here. Vorazun is, I think, just looking for these structures. There are a bunch of structures on this side that Vorazun will have to clear out. And we'll see what happens here. I think if the players have been paying attention and they have been very, very meticulous in how they end up clearing this will again on some of these oracles. A little bit of a split here. But yeah, if the players have been paying attention, this should be the last set of infested structures for Amon, but I'm not sure. It is very possible that one structure might have been missed, and if that happens, then you're in for a really, really hard time, because you're gonna have to end up, yeah. So there's probably a structure that is like been left over by accident, that the players missed, and now they have to go and find that one structure. And this is what makes Afraid of the Dark very, very difficult. This front side has fallen right now to the large number of aberrations that are there, and now Vorazun has to go ahead and just find these this one last structure over here. This area is going to get completely overwhelmed. There are lots of aberrations on this side, and Vorazun decides to pull back her oracles right now, and I think to just help with the defense here. This aberration is too fat to actually move through this base, so he's not going to be able to go through, and it basically means that until a kaboomer walks in here, or a hunterling, the players are going to be fine here. There is a Death Fleet call down that gets put here just to provide it, and Vorazun is still looking for that one infested structure that they missed. I think the infested structure is like in that corner base over here, but it might also be in the top side of this. It's not here. I think it may be in the top side down there, and we can see here that the infested are slowly starting to overwhelm the commanders. There is a nuke that gets dropped on this side, and is the nuke going to land? Nuke, it looks like it's going to land, but that is the last infested structure. Yeah, there we go. That is the end of the game. That is GG. So generally I don't normally do this, but I do want to see where the last set of infested structures are going to spawn, have like been missed. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to go back to like 60 seconds before the game ends, and we're going to follow these oracles over here. So let's go to these oracles. This is where Vorazun is. My guess is that the structures are actually left over here. So there we go. So this the Afraid of the Dark mutator has been bugged. So if I go back on the replay, it'll actually show me all the minimap pings, and you can see where the infested structure is. But yeah, that was roughly where I was guessing the infested structure was left over, and this was during Alarak's Empower Me run through that base. He might have missed that one structure, so Vorazun is still looking. Overall, a total of 26 Immortals and 25 of these Oracles have gone down. But yeah, I think Vorazun manages to snag it. Yeah, see, there's very little HP left on that. So there we go. That is GG.